Picture this, right? You're at the airport, ready to check in, only to be told your printed boarding pass is now completely useless. You see, from next month, for millions of Ryanair passengers, that's going to be the new reality. Stick around, I'll tell you why it's happening and what you need to do instead. So, for the last few years, Ryanair has been living in kind of a tech limbo, in that you had two options for boarding passes. First one, you could either be a hero of the old school, like I still am, print out your boarding pass, fold it just right so it wouldn't get all crumpled when you have to show it. Or, if you had a smartphone and wanted to use their app, you could do it that way. But that era of choice is officially coming to a screeching halt. And that's because from this month, November the 12th, 2025, unfortunately, the paper boarding pass is getting a one-way ticket to retirement. It's going, it's gone. And unless you're flying to or from Morocco, Turkey or Albania, every single other Ryanair flight to and back again will now only accept electronic boarding passes on your smartphone from that date. Now, why the sudden change? Why is it happening? Well, Ryanair, ever the pioneer in customer experience, has declared this move is all about giving us a faster and smarter and a greener travel experience. Because, of course, nothing quite says green quite like forcing millions of people to carry and charge power-hungry smartphones. But hey, it's for the planet, right? Okay, to be fair though, they are keen to point out that at least 4 out of 5 of us, at least 80% who fly Ryanair, are already using the digital app anyway. So this is just their way of gently nudging that final 20% into the modern age, I guess. And in fact, their CEO, Michael O'Leary, even put it quite simply saying, and I quote, "Almost 100% of passengers have smartphones and we want to move everybody onto that smartphone technology," unquote. So I guess consider this your official, final, non-negotiable push into the digital future of air travel. But this potentially comes with some problems. So let's dive into the most common problems and also not so obvious workarounds. First one, what if you don't have a smartphone? Okay, all right, this is probably, I guess, the biggest concern for travelers. But Ryanair, believe it or not, actually has a solution for it. But I'm not sure it's going to work, and I'll tell you why in a sec. So, if you don't have a phone, the solution is you then ask a friend or a family member, someone you trust, to download the boarding pass for you. Now, as long as you've checked in online before you get to the airport, the staff can then assist you and confirm your booking. Now, my issue with that is whoever downloads the boarding pass onto their smartphone then has to be with the person who doesn't have one, who doesn't have a phone. So how's that going to work if they aren't going with the person? See what I mean? Okay, next one. Now, most of us have had that moment of panic when you see that little red battery icon appear. And it always seems to appear when you need it most. Anyway, so what happens if your phone dies, or heaven forbid you lose it, or even worse, stolen before you even check in? Well, it's a pretty good solution actually, to be fair to Ryanair, if you've already checked in online beforehand, before arriving at the airport, and that's the key. They will reissue a paper boarding pass. And get this, won't cost you a single penny, it's free. They've got your information on file, so even if your phone is a goner, etc., they can look you up by your sequence number. But the only problem there is that you must have checked in online first. There's also a few odd exceptions with this, as I mentioned earlier, because while this new policy is being rolled out across most of Ryanair's network, there are always exceptions. In this case, and as I mentioned earlier, it's flights to, from Morocco, Turkey and Albania. Now, it's pretty complicated for these three. It's pretty confusing, as it's not necessarily both ways. You can still use a printed boarding pass, and it is going to change quite soon. So for those three countries you're flying to, it's best to check with Ryanair first. And finally, a couple of quick heads up you need to know about these. The airline has warned that there will likely be teething problems with the new system. Really? So just be prepared for a bit of a learning curve, maybe longer waiting time for checking in, because not everyone will know about the change, and I guess not everyone will have seen my video. And they also strongly advise against using third-party booking agents as well, which they claim, Ryanair claims, can sometimes provide fake contact details. So the best advice to avoid any headaches, always, I guess, try to directly book through Ryanair's own website or app. So what's the big takeaway from all of this? Well, I guess from Ryanair's perspective, it's simple. Ditch the printer, embrace the app. Make sure you've got the Ryanair app downloaded and that you've checked in online before you head to the airport. Can't stress that enough. Do those two things and I guess you're going to be on your way without a single piece of paper in sight, which I feel a bit sad. You know, I do enjoy that paper boarding pass, but hey, there you go. Anyway, what do you think of this change? Love it? Hate it? Are you excited to go full digital? Do you already do? Or will you miss having that paper boarding pass in your hand like me? Let me know your thoughts in the comments and I'll join you in the conversation. So if you found the video helpful, obviously give it a thumbs up and subscribe, even click that notification bell. I tend to drop a couple of videos every week. So thanks so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And I guess until the next video, bye.